But welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Very busy now, you ask me,
Yeah, I
but
know.
it's not so much about you. It's about the BW paper system and you, of course, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Um, I think that, I mean, you have been at the non-event where we got an opportunity to get to know each other a little bit. The first time I really saw your products in action was in a film we did from Drewsen Specialistpapier in Germany, a paper manufacturer. Is that all you do? Is that just doing fantastic equipment?
Yeah, that's a that's a penalty kick for me, obviously. So yeah, generally yes. Of course, we come from a different companies, as you know. Papersystems is an organization built with different suppliers like Kugler Bomarco, Will, Pemco, Bilomatic, Jagenberg, and Marquip, and all other brands which are missing right now. But yeah, we have been building machines for certain markets for 50, 100 years, and the Questec sheeter, which for niche products, which is really neat and which we will show at Drupa as well, because it covers something which seems to become a trend: lightweight papers, short order runs, specialties with maybe better margins for our customers and difficult to convert. And so that is something which this Questec sheeter, in a very limited room with more or less no operator interaction, that is maybe the main theme which we will be covering with that exhibit. But of course, we are doing more than this.
Yeah, because I mean, you and I, we also spoke during the COVID in this fast forward format that I really liked, and there you also showed some photos from. I mean, you. I think that your main market is converting paper, cutting it to sheets, converting roll to roll. I mean, so it's mainly like the paper industry that is really your market, right?
Yeah, and that is an interesting question, which we had to kind of discuss also in the recent years. Where is really our focus? Where are we strong, and which is something which is growing? Because we had that big portfolio. Our owners said once, we are kind of a dog's breakfast. We have everything, and we should focus on something. So obviously, corrugated is one business we are doing a lot, and for our division, where I'm heading up, is paper converting, board converting, and we kind of funneled that in the theme folding carton packaging. That is really where we are strong. That's where we are fitting our products best in, like beverage industry, printing industry, folding carton. Fine paper, yeah, in some niches, as I mentioned with this Questec sheeter, but generally speaking, it's the roll to sheet converting where we are really strong.
Um, I know it didn't become a success, but I introduced you to Kodak at Hunkle Innovation Days, and that was mainly because the Prosper 7000 is so fast as it is, and you have with the Questec, it is converting at the same speed, basically. Is that a market that you operate in today? I mean, like converting directly off the printing presses as well, or is it mainly as offline configurations that you're working with?
So the machine was invented to be technically an inline sheeter with a
Okay.
printing press or whatever kind of conversion. We sold that once, and then we sold that once also as an offline version. And then this company and this product became part of our family.
Oh,
And we
okay.
kind of tossed it around and we're not sure what to do with it. And finally, we focused on where we have been strong in the past, which is the offline conversion. And we have sold quite some footprints also in the recent past. But the inline is still a target market for us, which where we want to partner with OEMs like Kodak, like others. So we are very open. It's an open environment, and I think it adds value for the customers because it kind of cuts one interface off of the process, and it's very efficient. And the sheeters definitely, in the past, sheeters have been the kind of the bottleneck of the process. The sheeter runs 400 meters, even 500 meters is our target. So yeah, no press terms of sheets per hour.
Fantastic. When you focus on the Quest Tech, for example, also at Drupa, is that because by trying to influencing the people that are buying, let's say, a press, then you can have because I think that often when you buy a press, you go to, let's say, the press OEM, and then it's a combination with their salespeople about getting, the finishing solutions. At least that is what I understand. That is often that way. It's not so often that the customers go to each component seller and ask them specifically. So when you're at Drupa, is that the main focus, or is it also because Drupa is so wide that it covers also the converting business itself?
Yeah, it's both. For sure, we decided to exhibit the QuestTech sheeter because there's two reasons. First, we want to show that we partner with the big players in the market on the printing industry, and of course, we want to be pulled behind. We are used to that because paper machines, when former business was cut size sheeting or like in paper mills, where the paper machine was the main event, and then there was something in the back.
So, so what you say is that the paper mills don't want to sell like these 7-8 meter wide rolls to the printing company and then just let them do everything themselves, right?
No, yeah, exactly. And so we were kind of the second thought, and the same is maybe with the inline sheeting and the printing press. So the printing press obviously is the master and is the most important investment for our potential customers. But we want to show them that there is something which could be plugged behind and which would work with all kinds of printing presses. The other reason why we are there is typically the QuestTech sheeter is a solution for a customer who doesn't have a problem yet, which means we have to kind of inform them, wait a moment, guys, you might have a problem and there is a solution for a process which you haven't had in mind before. And so it's kind of a totally different sales approach. You consult the customers, you find the customers, you identify. We really went from the product. In a restaurant, you might remember there are sometimes these table sets which are fine paper cut to a certain size and which are replacing whatever linen or something, where you think, who makes that? Where is it done? And how can you convert that thin paper? And we kind of followed the track backwards and identified people who were cutting these manually. We told them, you know what, you can do this automatically in a sheeter. No way you can cut that paper. We said, yes, we can. So that's the way, that's really Sherlock Holmes' way of selling. And to simplify that a little bit, to get a little bit on stage with that product, we thought Drupa is a good idea to expose that.
But it's not the first time you're exhibiting at Drupa, is it?
It is the first time we exhibit, because 2016 was the last Drupa, and we acquired QuestTech 2017. So
okay.
It's really the first time we show that.
Okay, so expectations are even higher.
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic. So when you are not at Drupa, what is the main market you address? Is that still like the paper mills and that kind of things, or what is the main market?
Yeah, I mean, you had a discussion earlier today with Miller Martini, I think, talking about the small mom and pop shops and converters. We go across like a single 5-people company garage shop who might need a simple sheeting or converting solution to the paper mills like whatever, UPM, Stora Enso, Mondi, you name them. So we work with everybody. We kind of have for everybody a solution.
So what you say is basically that the product portfolio that BW Papersystems has is so wide that it also go to the tiny ones. Because the reason I'm asking is just because I remember you showed me a photo of like that really big one that you were building in Hamburg, right? And I thought that was actually the main business that you were in, but you basically cover a wider span, so to speak.
True, yeah, and that is helping us as well to go through some whatever mega situations or market dynamics where you see a downturn, for example, in folding carton, which we had recently because of all the stock and so on. So But we were covering also other markets and fine paper markets and in paper mills where they wanted cut size paper suddenly, or stationery or RFID solutions, and we all have that. So that's why it helps us to balance out the years, even in crisis situations. COVID, for example, was a mega era for us where we sold a lot. And then it took a little downturn, but other products were flying. So yes, and areas we are covering the world more or less. Of course, North America is a very important market for us because we have our home base there with many production sites. Latin America has been a strong market, and EMEA and Europe, same. We have 2 production sites here.
Maybe you should just elaborate on that a little bit, because you have BW is for Barry Waymiller, and Barry Waymiller is I think it was used to be called Baldwin. I don't think it's called Baldwin anymore, right?
Baldwin is part of it, yeah.
Yeah, Baldwin is part of it, and then you have AMS, Spectral. You have, I mean, there's a lot of different companies that are under the Barry Waymiller name. Do you collaborate with them on a daily basis, or is it very much siloed?
Our organizational matrix is silo, but of course, we identified so many synergies, especially with Baldwin, but also others in the packaging platform. So we have 3 main platforms: it's paper, it's tissue, and it's converting, as we call it, packaging. So all kind of solution for Coca-Cola and pouch packing and bottle filling. And there's always synergies. There's always something in between, right? And we have common sales approaches. We have so-called R&D innovation days where we meet in a full week of exchange. And so we use these synergies. We could use them better, for sure. I mean, we are a 13,000 people company with about 130 acquisitions.
Wow.
And when you think about 130 acquisitions, it's like 130 cultures and people across the globe have to get together and cooperate and learn from each other. Products, whatever, markets, customers, needs. And that is a lifetime journey, I guess. But we are doing pretty well on that.
Last question before I will let you go for lunch. I have to sit here for at least 1 hour more. Your founder, he's a characteristic. I can't remember his name right now, but he's a quite a characteristic, charismatic person. What was his name? Or is his name?
His name is Bob Chapman, and he is running the company with his son Kyle Chapman.
Yeah, the reason why I was saying
they started that from scratch.
Yeah, the reason I was saying that was because I remember when we had our fast forward during the COVID, you mentioned him, and I have looked a little bit into him because he was, or is he still alive, right?
Absolutely, yeah. More than ever. He just had a lesson at a Mexican university about our leadership.
Because he's a philanthropist, and he's written books about leadership, and I think that his approach to how people are working together is maybe one of these factors that also bind the Barry Waymiller group of people together, because he has a very unique approach to people, right? So maybe you can just tell me a little bit about that in 1 minute.
In 1 minute, yeah. Okay, that's hard. But so, I mean, we have, when you talk to Bob Chapman, he says the most important thing is that our people feel fulfilled and go safe to at home, so that they are better parents, better spouses, and we do everything to make that happen with our people. I mean, this is what many customers say finally, many companies say finally, but he really lives that to a degree that everybody feels that culture, and that he takes care about. He would not fire anybody in a crisis. We didn't let anybody go during COVID. We didn't let anybody go during the financial crisis 2008-9. And instead we hired people, and we keep them, and so our strongest good and most important good is the people, and we call it people in performance and harmony. So that is our gospel. And you can feel it every day, and for sure I can talk about that more. I have some speeches prepared in some other events, so maybe there's another opportunity to talk about that.
But now you spent 2 minutes, so I will get after you, Patrick. But thank you very much for this time, and thank you for bringing also attention to Bob Chapman.